Hey everyone, Harry here to talk about Carlos De Oliveira's first appearance in court today on the charges in the superseding indictment against him. Maybe let's go to the headline. Sure enough, he shows up and says, Your Honor, I don't have a lawyer, just as co-defendant Walt Nauta did, and you can't get going without a lawyer. So boom, an immediate 10 days or so. His actual arraignment has been set for August 10th. Presumably by then he has a local lawyer, although Nauta strung things along for a month. So first indication, he's all in on the delay strategy. Second, he was released on a $100,000 bond. That's about as expected. You would not think that he would actually be incarcerated or kept or given a no bail situation. They would have had to find that there would be no set of conditions that would keep him from fleeing. He doesn't seem to be that sort of guy so far. All right, but third, the big question with him. Here's my take on what happened. They went to him very strongly. They had him lying 3 or 4 times, and that's already exposure. But they also said to him, look, you participated in a scheme to obstruct justice, and he surely did, and a fairly amateurish one at that. Oh, there are surveillance tapes. How do we get rid of them? And most infamously, the boss wants them deleted. And that's just what's in the indictment. We actually know that there's a lot more, and he could provide it. So as soon as the Trump team received a draft subpoena from the DOJ making clear they wanted the surveillance tapes, this guy, Carlos De Oliveira, who first says, I had nothing to do with anything, has a 24-minute conversation with Donald Trump. Think about that. That really can't happen all that frequently. And they weren't talking about the shrimp cocktails to be served at Mar-a-Lago that night. He is, by the way, a guy who, was one of the workers there and impressed Trump in some way with his craftsmanship on something, and is now has a somewhat higher title about facilities manager or something like that. But this is not a guy in Trump's social or political circle. He's a hanger-on with Walt Nauta, who got dragged into doing the box moving and the taking 60 out, bringing 30 in, and obviously trying to keep the documents out. And then, of course, realizing in real gang who couldn't shoot straight fashion, surveillance tapes. And then he's the guy who then goes to another employee named Tavares, who's obviously cooperating, and says the boss wants these surveillance tapes deleted. He does all kinds of junior high cloak and dagger stuff with Nauta himself, talking in a tunnel and looking around for where are the surveillance cameras and the like. And it's all not just mob stuff, but kind of ham-handed mob stuff. Anyway, so that's who he is, and they have him with very strong leverage, because this separate obstruction where he is dead to rights carries a big sentencing punch. So the question arises, why is this guy not cooperating? People say, maybe he thinks Trump will pardon him. But he can already make a deal with DOJ that he won't have to go to jail anyway. So that's the best he could do if he is pardoned. And Trump can pardon only if he wins the election, and he might well do it he can only if he wins the election. So it seems like a really inane roll of the dice. Now, there's a whole separate problem going on here, that it's the Trump folks who are providing the lawyers for these people, including for De Oliveira. Indeed, the end of the conspiracy, at least as detailed in the indictment, has Trump and Nauta trying to run traps, is is Carlos safe? Will he be loyal? And then another phone call with Trump in which Trump tells him he's going to provide a lawyer for him. But what he thinks his loyalty will buy him is very unclear unless it's something well outside the four corners of the indictment and the legal system, like some kind of future employment or just the warm glow of being, on Team Trump, if that's a warm glow. And of course, Trump is infamous for kicking people to the curb. So to my mind, he'll get a lawyer, and he already has one, just not a local lawyer. That lawyer will sit down with him and lay it all out. And really, it seems to me clearly in his interest to cooperate, and almost certainly he might not even have to plead to anything, but he would not wind up doing time in jail. I think it's quite likely. And now he's looking at years, and this is the price of loyalty to a mob boss who himself is not loyal back. So it's really hard to fathom, and we'll see whether the scales fall from his eyes once he actually has a lawyer. He's looking at the charges. There's something pretty sobering about standing up in court and pleading not guilty, etc. Now he'll have a lawyer when he comes back on the 10th. So possibly he'll see reason. They have a lot of evidence against him anyway. If he doesn't, and it's really very much in his interest, but the DOJ can go forward without him, and it's pretty clear that they will. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.